Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this video. Today we are here at the Dorney Park, our second home park. Their upcoming summer event, Viva la Fiesta, is quickly approaching, so it should be interesting to see any changes they may be making to prepare for that event. Also, happy to get on some of our favorite coasters, including the ones back there, and of course the ones right there. So without further ado, let's get right into the park. So they do not have the Viva la Fiesta sign up just yet. It does start on July 19th and I'm here on July 9th, so don't expect any major changes regarding that event today, but hopefully we can spot at least some changes in regards to that. And speaking of change regarding Viva la Fiesta, here is the main stage next behind the carousel. This is where the Hot Rhythm Nights show is going to be. It is weekends only, and of course you know my busy schedule, so I can't be here on weekends, but hopefully I can come out here to check this out sometime during Viva la Fiesta. Wow, this is interesting. This is the Rita's Plaza near the bathrooms. They've got some a town set up here that kind of looks a little. It's basically the seating area for the pizza place, but they've decorated it up so it looks very on theme with Viva la Fiesta. Very cool. Now, of course, we did get let in a bit early, so Talon might not be open directly at opening. Also didn't catch any tests while we were waiting at the entrance, but either way, should hopefully get on this as soon as possible. 20 minutes of no action later, I think it's time to bail, move on to other things. Something that's been consistent with all the Dorney Park events is this beverage stand right here. It's on theme with Viva la Fiesta with the Viva la Fiesta colors, as long as a photo op right here with the subsequent name of the event. So really cool that they're sprucing up this midway for the upcoming event. Here is yet another show stage right outside the Wild Mouse entrance and across from Whitewater Landing. Nothing here on the Meteor gravesite or even the Hydra midway, but speaking of Hydra, this will be the first ride of the day, I guess. With 2 trains, it is a station wait, so always nice to see good operations here, so let's hop a ride. One ride on Hydra in the front row nonetheless. Again, really enjoy the front row on this, especially because you get more whip going into the elements instead of out of the elements. Of course, not discounting the back row, because the back you also get the whip over the drop and the second drop into the corkscrew, but still, front is good nonetheless. Obviously can't really compare this to Rougarou just because of how really bizarre this ride is, whereas Rougarou is just the standard floorless layout, but still a really good ride nonetheless. Very minor change, the tables here in the Apollo grave are now orange. I guess they wanted to keep it on theme with Viva la Fiesta. Steelyard time, you already know what time it is. Now, if you've been keeping up the vlogs, you would know last time I got my 100th ride on this. Unfortunately, we didn't get too many rides last time, so today I really want to focus on really lapping this thing and getting that ride count up. The crowds today aren't really that much, except for with the exception of a few school groups here and there, but either way, don't expect a huge line here today, so let's see how many rides we can get. 10 straight rides here on Iron Menace. It really is hauling today because I could notice very little rattle. Another thing was because one of my rides was like completely empty, and I really noticed the rattle there. So on the ones where we had a full train, that was absolutely hauling and kind of really smooth. It is kind of laughable how much better this is than Valraven. Don't get me wrong, Valraven's fun and all, but this is just way better of a ride than Valraven ever is. We are going to Busch Gardens Williamsburg later this year, so we can hopefully get back on Griffin to compare this to that, but I'm sure this can stack up to Griffin, even though it is smaller and a lot shorter than Griffin. Gotta love these summer weekdays because despite spending nearly an hour over at Iron Menace, Steel Force here is still somehow a walk-on. So hopefully we can get multiple rides on this. We'll just have to see though. Of course the school groups may throw a wrench in that, but hey, hopefully they move on to better things by now. Four really solid rides here on Steel Force. Really like these Morgan hypercoasters, even though this is the only one I've been on, but I'm sure these are much smoother than the Aero hypercoaster, Magnum. If Magnum had the smoothness of this, I'm sure Magnum would be a much better ride than it already is. Granted, it's already good, but unfortunately with its like triangular hills as compared to Steel Force's more rounded hills, it does really make a big difference. Although I do really love the powerful and raw airtime of Magnum as compared to the floatiness of this. Don't get me wrong, this is still really solid, especially in that front row, but either way, it's really good. Now usually on less than crowded days like this, Thunderhawk is usually on one train. Although because it is not crowded, I don't expect this to have a terrible line, so let's hop a ride. So I guess they're not expecting large crowds for a while now because train 2 is all wrapped up. It's all right because we don't really need it. Got a row 3 ride here on Thunderhawk. Of course not a non-wheel seat, so a little bit of roughness, but I can get over it. Airtime really good, and just a lot of whip. Well, not a lot of whip. I meant a lot of laterals. I meant on the initial turn at the drop. That's kind of a slow turnaround, but the second turnaround, that's where most of the laterals are. Of course, can't forget that finale, but unfortunately trimmed, as you may or may not know. So really good row 3 ride on Thunderhawk. Now it has been a while since our last ride on Demon Drop, so let's hop a ride. The only thing I don't like, again, is that sudden stop right there, but this should only be like a monthly thing, so let's do it. That drop is one of the best in the game, but I just cannot get over that hard stop and return run there. That's why this is only every so often thing, just because of that, the sheer intensity of that drop, but of course just the jankiness of this ride overall. Really wish they could update this model to make it a lot smoother and a lot more, you know, I don't know what's the word, but just basically not that. So hopefully they can keep this around a lot longer so more people can experience this. Something I don't like about a day like today is that the culinary staff isn't really here today, because I have not seen a lot of refresh stations open today, which is unfortunate. On a hot day like today, you need to get some sort of refreshments in your system, so just unfortunate that no refresh stations could be open. So I guess Viva la Fiesta is going to be centralized near the front of the park. I haven't seen a lot of decorations down here at the bottom of the hill, so pretty sure that most of the events are going to take place towards the main midway, which it's alright. You can probably centralize everybody up there just for that main event, but it doesn't have to be the whole park. I understand. Finally found an open refresh station at the very front of the park. Unfortunately, since this is the only one open, it does have quite a little bit of a line, but it's better than nothing. Took basically all day, but I did see Talon running, so that's a very good sign. Hopefully we can actually get on this and it doesn't break down on us. It's a very interesting placement for the warning for the automatic gates. Guess I didn't just thought about that now throughout the middle of the season. 3 rides here on Talon, one of them being in the front row. I always love the back row better than this, but either way, really love the extra whippiness you get in the front row. I'm a really good sucker for whip on these inverts, which is why I think I do like Raptor just a little bit. It does have a lot more whippy elements, such as the Raptor 0G roll plus the Cobra roll, especially in the back right. But this is a mixture of both whip and positive G's, which I really enjoy on an invert. I might have to come out with an inverted ranking later this year, because there are a lot of solid inverts and I just cannot decide which one is my favorite. But overall, I think Raptor over this, but ever so slightly. Man, I believe we really took advantage of the Cedar Point freestyle machines, because these two are literally the only ones here at Dorney Park, which is unfortunate because this is kind of one of the reasons why you would get a all-season refill drink, but it's just unfortunate there's not more of these, and this is the only one on the games midway. I don't really know what's next, but I'm sure Iron Menace still is a walk-on, so I'm gonna go boost my ride count over there.
Everyone subscribe to Coaster Bowler. He's the next Mr. Beast. Everybody subscribe.
Let's go. Managed to tack on 6 additional rides, boosting the ride count to 16 today. It is just absolutely hauling today, and the shake is very not noticeable when there is a full train. Unfortunately, most of the rides in this ride set were a little bit on the emptier side, so couldn't really get that kind of smoothness that we had earlier this morning, but still really phenomenal ride, and I'm really satisfied with the rides I had today. I think that's a good way to end our day here. I'm gonna start making my way towards the exit. That is going to just about do it for my day here at Dorney Park. Very productive, I would say. Got on most of our favorite rides. Unfortunately, Possessed was down for most of the day. I did see them testing, but they didn't seem to be making a lot of progress with that, so fortunate that this could be our home park and we can just hop a ride on that when we come next time. But anyway, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and of course subscribe for more theme park content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.